welcome back. Today we're going to do a little bit of work in what I like to call our Naked Shake series. And I've talked about this a little bit before, but here on this channel, we really like to have a lot of fun with the shakes and show you some variety and just demonstrate a handful of different things that you can do with your Herbalife products to just help stay on track. But what I want to say is that while we do a lot of things that are fun, and it's no problem to do those things, especially from time to time, if you're seriously on a weight loss journey, or you're just getting started, or you're trying to zip off that last little bit, then that's not the time to be doing all of the fun things and putting extra stuff into your shakes, whether it's fruit or puddings or sugar-free syrups or any of the stuff. Like, that's the time to just really dial it back and go what I call naked in your shakes. And what that means is simply that there's nothing in there except for your Herbalife Formula 1 and your Herbalife protein drink mix. Now today I'm making shakes for Maurice and I'm just gonna hop on here and share with you a little bit how to do it, because lately I've been hearing from some of our clients that they're not just loving the way that their shakes are turning out. So we're gonna go through a couple of basics with you here today. And it doesn't matter, you guys, if you're using like a small personal blender. I use this one a lot. It does a great job with that frozen milkshake texture shake. It doesn't matter if you're using one like this, just a standard home blender. That's what I'm going to use for Maurice's. Also does a great job with the milkshake style shakes. And what I use more than anything else right now is just a magic bullet. Also does a great job. And I've said it before, and I'll probably say it at least 100 times more. Really the key to consistency in your shake comes down more to time in the blender than it does exactly how many ice cubes and exactly how many ounces of water. So we're gonna go through a couple of those things here today. So thanks for joining us, and let's get started. Now, before we get started here, first I'm gonna walk through the ingredients that we have, and then I'm gonna walk through the basics of getting that texture just right. But before I do that, I really want to take a moment and thank you guys once again for all the likes and the comments, and thank you for your patience. I know I mentioned in some of our last few videos that we've been a little absent. We've really been engaged in these weight loss marathons that we've been running for our clients and for our team, and they are just ridiculously hot. People are getting some of the best results I can remember a large group of people getting all at the same time for years and years and years. And I'm just so excited about the marathon. So thank you for your patience with that. If you'd like some information on that, be sure to either comment below or respond to one of our emails, and we'll get you the information. Like I say all the time, if it's for you, that's awesome, and I will help you get started. If it's not for you, that is also awesome, and I'm not gonna try and twist your arm and get you to do something you're not excited to do. So if you'd like the information just to see if it's a good fit for you, great, let us know. We'll get that information for you. And then also I wanna make sure you guys know that you can sign up for email notifications when we launch these videos, so that you never miss anything. You see everything right when it comes out. Plus, every email we send, we also send the recipe card that we previously had only provided to our clients and our members. We pay attention to all of the comments. And this is another one of those things really that is, we're doing these today because you guys have asked for some help on getting the texture right, getting the flavors right, and coming up with some new combinations for people who are long-term users who've really adopted the lifestyle, so that you don't get bored. You have something new to do all the time. So what I'm gonna make today is another one of our family favorites. We have a lot of family favorites. And over the years, they kind of cycle around. But what I'm gonna make today is a salted chocolate caramel. And it is ridiculously delicious. To do that, we're gonna use our dulce de leche Formula 1. And we're going to use our chocolate protein drink mix. Remember, this comes in 3 different flavors. And we're gonna use a little bit of just basic pink Himalayan sea salt. Now, you can use any salt if you have to, but table salt is gonna be more sharp, and it's not gonna be as rich and delicious, and it will definitely affect the enjoyability of your shake. So I highly recommend pink Himalayan sea salt. A couple things I wanna talk about on these before we get started, and that is, the protein drink mix You guys, this is not just a protein shake. This is not just a protein powder. This protein drink mix is loaded with nutrients. And you know, we use it here with our clients as a way to customize your shake. So once we know what your protein number is, and that's one of the things we've really been working on a lot in the marathons, it's making a huge difference for people actually hitting that protein number. But once you know what your protein number is for the day, then you know how many scoops of this you need in each one of your shakes to support you in hitting that number for the day. So this is a protein drink mix. Again, we have 3 flavors. This is the chocolate. We also have vanilla, and we have peanut cookie, which is divine. And incidentally, the peanut cookie is okay for people with peanut allergies. It doesn't actually contain peanuts. It is flavored that way. Okay, so that, and then the dulce de leche Formula 1. One of the things that you're gonna notice if you really hang around for a while and you play with your shakes as much as I do, is that each of the different shake flavors has a little bit of a different texture. And that's just part of the formulation of getting the flavor right without adding the things that we just don't want to have in our shakes. So the dulce does mix up a little thinner. So we need to be a little bit beefier with the ice and with the protein powder in order to get it thicker and creamier, if that's what you like. And then, you know, some of the other flavors mix up really, really thick, so you gotta back off a little bit. But that's just some of those things that you'll kind of learn as you play with your food, like I play with my food. Or watch these videos, because I'll try to share that with you also. So like I said, I'm gonna use the full-size blender today, and the best way that I know to be the most consistent with the ice and water ratio is to use a measuring cup. So I have here just a two cup measuring cup, and I have it filled to the 2 cup line loosely with regular ice out of my freezer. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fill around the ice to the either 12 or 16 ounce mark. Like I said, since this one mixes up just a little thinner, I'm probably gonna use just a little less water. So I'm gonna probably be more like 12 or 14 ounces down here, and then pour that all into the blender. Now, if you have a blender that has the graduated markings, you can totally do this right in your blender. I think well, except for the magic bullet, it doesn't have markings on it to tell you how many cups, but this one does. It's graduated up the side so you can see what the measurements are. So you could do it right in your blender. I would get really good at using a measuring cup if the texture is really important to you. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to, like I said, pour the water in around this I'm gonna go to about the 14 ounce mark right there. Then I'm gonna put all of this into my blender cup. I'll scooch this down for you a little. I'll just pour that all right in there. Now, if you have a couple of minutes to let the ice sit in the water, it's gonna soften up that ice so it'll get a little smoother for you. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put in, or the next thing rather, we're gonna put in our 2 scoops of our healthy meal. It's always 2 scoops of your Formula 1. 1, and shake it off kind of level. 2. Now we're gonna use our protein drink mix. Now this one I'm making for Maurice, so I am gonna use 2 scoops. He has a little higher protein number than I do by a whole lot. And so I'm gonna put 2 scoops of the chocolate protein drink mix right in there. And then on the sea salt, you wanna go pretty light, but it's the minerals in here are very good for you. So I'm probably gonna do, if I were measuring it, I don't know, that might be a half of a teaspoon. Yeah, probably, that might be a half a teaspoon. So just gonna put that in over the top. And now we're gonna blend it. And this is where a lot of people get it a little bit twisted. It's surprising how long it takes to get that texture just right. Most people will turn on the blender and watch it until it stops looking icy, but you're not quite there yet. It takes a full 1.5 minutes. Could be more, but at least 1.5 minutes. So the first couple times you do this, just to get in the groove, set your timer for 1.5 minutes and then come back and check it then. So we're gonna put this on. I'm really good at turning the blender on when I don't mean to, so make sure the lid's on. And then we're gonna blend this, and I'm gonna set my timer, and we're gonna come back in 1.5 minutes. Okay, now as you saw, this, for some reason, this blender canister is not the best shape for these nice thick shakes, and I kind of forgot about that until I started, just because it doesn't really move at the bottom. So if you find that you can hear it running really fast, but nothing is moving in the blender, shake it a little bit to get it back down around the blades. What happens is it just makes a little air pocket around the blades. This particular blender does that all the time. None of my other blenders do it. So if that happens, wiggle it around, shake it to get it down in there. You may have to turn the speed of the blender down if you have the opportunity to move it through a little bit slower at first, but stay with it, learn your blender and all of its little tweaks and personality traits so that you can get it blended long enough. You want it to be moving so that it's lifted in the blender, and when you look down inside, it's got the little tornado going. And then it's pretty close to ready. Let it keep doing that for a full 30 seconds before you stop it and pour it out, because otherwise it will still be just a little bit icy and chunky. And the longer that you blend it, the creamier it gets, the more like an actual milkshake it will get. If you don't blend it long enough, it'll be a little bit icy, and you can feel the pieces of ice when you're drinking it. And to me, that's just not as enjoyable. It also doesn't have as much flavor that way, because that way the ice is what you're really tasting, and it kind of dulls the flavor of your shake. So blend it long enough. That's probably the biggest secret. You can even use just a handful of ice cubes, but if you blend it long enough, it's going to thicken up, it's going to get smoother, it's going to get creamier. But let's see what we got. Okay, let's see how we did. Oh yes. So there you go. Really, really, just if you remember nothing else, just remember that it really boils down to time in the blender. Blend it longer than you think you need to, and you're gonna get that smooth, rich, creamy texture that's just like an ice cream shop milkshake. Cheers.